Welcome to all of you to our first annual Implementing Lean Conference, hosted by Virginia Tech Roanoke Center and the City of Roanoke. We have been in the planning stages for this event for about 12 months, and I can tell you overwhelmingly the positive response that we've heard from all of you. There is no better time for us to talk about process improvement and performance excellence. We are all living in a time of reduced budgets. We're all living in a time where customer service has extra demands. So it gives us pleasure for the City of Roanoke and Virginia Tech to come together today to sponsor this conference. My name is Kay Dunkley. I'm the director of the Virginia Tech Roanoke Center. We hope that you enjoy the networking with, I think the common denominator that we all have is that we're all interested in lean. We're all interested in process improvement. Our topics are going to be covered. We're kind of diverse in our thinking: K through 12, manufacturing, healthcare, small business, and local government. And another exciting feature is that we have speakers that are coming from throughout the U.S. And what a pleasure it has been to bring them all to Roanoke, Virginia, the state of Washington, Iowa, Colorado, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. So I think you're going to like the variety of our speakers and the variety of our sessions.
Thanks. Well, good morning, everyone. It's really my honor to welcome you here to Implementing Lean at the Hotel Roanoke and Conference Center. Both the conference and the Conference Center represent partnerships between Virginia Tech and the City of Roanoke. And in fact, if you look at this picture right here, you see downtown Roanoke, see where that sun is? That's right over Virginia Tech. That's Virginia Tech. How many Virginia Tech grads do we have here? All right, super. Yeah, we're very fortunate. And I'm going to tell you why I believe we're even more fortunate to be with Virginia Tech. So we'll have this opportunity over the next couple of days to, whether you're thinking about implementing lean, if you've started implementing lean, or you're several years down the road, I think you'll be able to hear some things and talk to some people, and there are folks here who are going to share their skills and experience with you. So please take advantage of that. It really is an incredible opportunity, and I'm excited. I think the hardest thing for me is which concurrent session am I going to choose, because all of them look so good. But I thought it might help a little bit to talk to you about why the City of Roanoke decided to get involved in lean. And so I've been here about 6 years, and 6 years ago we were really looking at how we could change the culture to create an organization that was focused on building a more resilient community, a stronger, resilient community. And we were doing that through three major ways. First, through outstanding customer service. Secondly, through accountability to both our citizens and to each other. And then third, through valuing diversity. And I mean diversity in the broadest sense, both ethnic diversity, but then also the diversity of skills and talents and experiences that people can bring to the table. And so we started with a new budget process and new employer orientation and getting on the organization. While this was happening, I was reading more and more professional literature about lean and the impact it was having in cities and counties around the country, about what was happening in King County, Washington, or Denver, or Baltimore. And it really piqued my interest. And so I actually went out and met with some of the local firms here to see if maybe they could help us with lean the way Boeing did with King County, Washington, and just didn't seem the right fit there. Then coincidentally, I was on a panel here at the Hotel Roanoke. There was a conference about how communities and colleges can work together, and I ended up on a panel with Dr. Eileen Van Aken. And where is Dr. Aken? Right back there. It just shows how sometimes things happen for a reason. I was sitting next to her, and she was talking. She's involved with the School of Industrial Engineering, and talking about how they had senior projects where senior teams would go out and work with organizations for the 2 semesters and do a major capstone project. And talked about, used the example of healthcare, where they went and helped I think it was an operating room. And so I thought, gosh, I've been looking all over the place, and really, the resource we have right here at Virginia Tech is the answer. So I talked to Eileen, and they hadn't done any local government projects before, but I think we had 4 or 5 senior teams that year in social services, in police, in planning, and to kind of test the waters. Well, what we found is, the energy of the students really got our staff excited. The projects that they were doing really made a difference. And so I think that got people committed to going further with it. From there, Kay came on board, and I met with the Virginia Tech Roanoke Center to talk about how we could tailor some training that would be appropriate for the city. And so she used some local resources in Virginia Tech and pulled together an incredible training program. So now, about 2.5 years in, we've trained 200 employees in Lean, and then a smaller subset in Lean Six Sigma. We continue to do senior projects, and it really is making a difference in our culture. And we did this at a time when we were reducing our budget by 10% and all the stuff all of us have been doing to try to get through. And so I'm so pleased that we can now share this, and really I'm excited about learning from others who are further along this way. And so whether you're thinking about implementing Lean or you're already there, I'm hoping that you'll take advantage of all the resources and the skills and experience we have here. Thank you.
Today we had about 15 folks from Appalachian Power here. We are learning a little bit about the different aspects of Lean. Today we heard some speakers from government, from healthcare, and from education. Our focus here as a utility is trying to become part of our utility of the future, and how do we become more efficient, how do we increase our safety, become more efficient, add value to our customer. And we get a chance to hear from some different companies today that we're doing that in the private and public sector. I think anytime you come to these, you learn something new. I think for us, the focus on the people. Everything you hear, there's a lot of tools, there's a lot of processes that you can do, but the real focus is on your people and how you empower them to become, to make better decisions, to problem solve, and to help you become more safe and efficient in the way that we do business.
I am really honored to be one of the speakers at the conference. So tomorrow morning I'll be speaking about the critical role of continuous improvement projects in lean transformation efforts. So many organizations like the City of Roanoke and many of those represented here are seeking to try to implement lean in order to do as much as they can or more with less financial resources, or improve citizen satisfaction. So the lean toolkit and approaches can be a very effective way to do that. I'm going to focus on some of the essential ingredients of an overall transformation effort and how launching improvement projects are a key part of that, and what are some of the things that I've learned in my research to try to ensure the success of those kinds of projects. It's just been amazing. I've been doing work in this area for like 20 years, and I have really enjoyed the conference. I've learned so much, and talking to people just to share kind of war stories or share examples of, what kinds of projects are you working on? What's your role in your organization? Just that cross-fertilization of ideas, the networking of people across very different kinds of organizations, or similar organizations but in different parts of the state or different parts of the country. That is what is essential for increasing the success of lean efforts in an organization, is to learn from what others have done, to avoid some of the same things they learned the hard way, so that an organization doesn't maybe make the same mistakes or step on the same landmines, so that they can be even more effective. We can only get better and better at improvement approaches in organizations if we can learn from those that have come before. That's what I think is one of the biggest values of a conference like this.
I shared really, in large part, the state of Iowa's journey that we've been on for the last dozen years, and starting with Iowa state government and moving through our local governments, both city and county, as well as ultimately to a consortium of lean practitioners from every sector of the economy. We certainly start by giving employees tools and skills to understand how they can improve, but ultimately it is about developing a culture. We want to build people that are problem solvers, that work collaboratively, that aren't afraid to take action, and always be ready to try something new. It's very much about learning from each other, and that's one of the things I love about lean communities. It really is about sharing. It's about accelerating our own learning spectrum by sharing with each other, knowing that we're not alone in what we're trying to do. It ultimately comes down to people. So whether you're writing a permit, building a window or running a hospital emergency room. It really is about the people, and so we can all gain from each other.
I'm at the Lean Conference to speak in one of the sessions and share what we've done in King County, Washington. But I'm also here to learn. There's so many fabulous people here, so many people doing great Lean work in their organizations, including the city of Roanoke. One of the things about Lean is we're always trying to keep learning. And this is a fabulous opportunity for me too. We've implemented it at several levels, sort of big projects. For example, with our wastewater treatment division's capital projects, these are major construction projects that takes up to 10 years long. And we're trying to get that down by at least 2 years. And so far, we're making good progress. And then at the other end of the spectrum, we want to talk about how individual employees are also making changes simply within their individual sphere of influence. How do they make their work lives better? We suggest that they look for the rocks in their shoes, and how do we get those rocks out? What can we do to make their work lives better? When their work lives are better, when they're happier, they're going to provide better customer service and be happier, more productive employees. I think the major benefit is that we get to interact with each other, we get to meet new people, we get to learn what other people are doing so I can take that back to my folks and share that information, and we get to come to Roanoke. Roanoke's a fabulous place.